Hey guys, Eddie the Magic Monk here. The topic for today's World of Warcraft math lesson is scale factor. So what is scale factor? Well, let's talk about what we're going to use it for first, and then once we have used it, then you'll understand what it is. So basically, if you guys remember in the last few lessons, we have been working with using yards to measure distance. So we've approximated that one step is approximately 1 yard when your character is walking, right? Because 1 yard is about 0.9 meters, which is about the length of a step. But anyway, so what we're working on today is we want to work on, if we open up the map, okay, and we want to know what the distance traveled is from one point to another. Okay, so for example, if I'm here and I want to walk somewhere else, let's say I want to get to this Tower of Azora from where I am, so I'll be traveling directly east, and I want to figure out how many yards that is, and I want to work out how much time it's going to take me to get there without me actually having to walk there first. So I don't want to walk there all the way from here, because to find that out, I want to be able to predict it using the maths. So let's have a look at the coordinate system first. So if you guys have a look at the coordinates for where my mouse cursor is, if I move the mouse cursor all the way to the left of the map, the number gets very close to 0. So the left hand side of the map has a x coordinate of 0, but if I move my mouse all the way to the right hand side, this number here turns into 100. Right? So what that means is 0 just means the left hand side of the map. 100 just means the right hand side of the map. It has no information about how many yards it is, how long it is in yards. And same with the vertical coordinates of the map. If you move the mouse to the top, it gives you very close to 0 for the y coordinate, and if you move the mouse to the bottom of the map, it gets you a number very close to 100. So again, you can't find out how many yards it takes from one end to another just from these percentage coordinates. I'm going to call them percentage coordinates because basically it measures 0% from the left and 100% is the whole map. So they're not really coordinates in terms of the actual distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk a little bit, and I'm gonna measure how long it takes me to walk, let's say from where I'm standing right now. So I'm standing at 46.2 for x, so I'm gonna write that down. So I'm currently at x is equal to 46.2, and I'm going to run horizontally, maintaining my y as 69.7. I'm gonna run for a bit and I'm gonna see where I end up. Okay, so let's try that. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. Let's bring up the timer. So ready, set, go. So I'm gonna run for a bit and I'm gonna stop at about 10 seconds. 10.4 seconds. I'm going to see where I ended up. So in 10 seconds I have traveled to 48.3. 10.4 seconds I'm now at 48.3. So let's write that down. So after 10.4 seconds, right, x is equal to 48.3. So that's the new x. Okay, so what that means, what does that mean? How many yards is that? Okay, how many yards is it per change in x? For every 1 unit of x, how many yards is it? So let's try and get that. So if you guys remember, my running speed is 7 yards per second. So if I run for 10.4 seconds, so distance traveled would be 7 yards per second times 10.4 seconds, and that will tell me how many yards I have traveled, which is 72.8 yards. Now on the map, so map coordinates traveled. Alright, so I've traveled from 46.2 to 48.3. So if I go 48.3 minus, alright, because I want to know how much I've traveled, 46.2, which is where I started, and the answer is 2.1. So the change in x coordinate, so x coordinate traveled is 2.1, and 2.1 is equivalent to 72.8 yards. So that means I'm going to write it out in a table form so I can explain it a bit easier. So 2.1 in x is 72.8 yards. So if I divide both sides by 2.1, right, which you can do with ratios, then I will get 1 x coordinate is the same as, so now I'm going to do 72.8 divided by 2.1 divided by 2.1 is 34.66 yards. 34.66 yards for every x coordinate on the map. Now keep in mind, this will only work for this map, okay, because every map is going to be of a different size. But on this particular map, okay, on this particular map, 1 coordinate for x is 34.66 yards. So if you wanted to know, for example, how far away it is from where I'm standing now, which is 48.3, to the Tower of Azora, which is 66.0. So if I wanted to know the distance from 48.3 in x to 66.0 in x, it'll be 66 minus 48.3, which will be 17.7 x coordinates. The change in x is 17.7. So that's the change in x. So change in x is 17.7. So each x coordinate, 1 x coordinate is 34.66 yards. So 17.7 times 34.66 is 613 yards. 613.5 yards. Now, since I can walk 7 yards per second, I can just go 613.5 divided by 7, and that will tell me how long it's going to take me to get there, right? Because if you guys remember the equation from before, speed is equal to distance over time. So time is equal to distance over speed. So 613.5 yards divided by the speed is 7 yards per second. So that will give me the time. So let's try that. Divided by 7. And the answer is 88 seconds. 88 seconds. So let's check that now and see how long it's going to take me to get to the Tower of Azora. Now it's going to be an approximation because the road is not straight. The road is not straight, but if I just run from now to Tower of Azora and I time it, it should be very close to 88 seconds. It should be very close to 88 seconds. So let's try that. Okay, ready, go. Alright, so it's 9 seconds. I'm try to run as horizontally as possible. Should take me 88 seconds to get there. Wolves are attacking me. It's 35. Oops, I probably shouldn't jump because that might affect my speed. There's a tree in the way. Nearly there. So it's 60 seconds now. Alright, 70 seconds. So yeah, it is about 80 seconds. Right, so that's 80 seconds. Right, 1 minute, 20 seconds. So yeah, that's pretty accurate. Okay, so that's the end of my math lesson today on scale factor. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.